This is Above the Nest, where the Hawks take flight and the real stories unfold. Lock in.
Welcome, boys. We dropped episode 1 last week. Bushy, over 7,000 views on content across all platforms in the first 24 hours. Did you think we were going to do that?
No, I did not. But that's good. That's good. Can't believe that many people are paying attention, which is good, and they love their basketball. So, hey, looking for another 7,000.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, welcome Dan Grida. This episode's called GRIIIDA.
Let's go. How good? How good?
In the house. Welcome, man. We'll get to you in a minute. A few things that we're going to do today. New segment, Hawks Tracker. So we're going to look at ex-Hawks, where they are in the league or around the globe, how they're applying their trade. So look forward to that. We're going to look at the schedule today as well. Have a look at the first five games for you boys, Dan. And some things during this week. Ezra Eagle signed by the Hawks, named by the Hawks. Jackson Ball signed by the Hawks this week as well. We'll talk about Jackson later in the podcast and Ezra as well. Adelaide 36ers, Sydney Kings. Game 2 went down to the final seconds. Bryce Cotton getting it done. And shout out to Flynn Cameron too. He had a finals game high 17 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He's just carving up over there, Dan.
Yeah, he's been unreal. I think he was, struggling a little bit through these playoffs. I think I saw something of the game that I was watching just before. He was over 15 from 3 before game 2 in the last 4 games. So really, really cool to see him really step up. And yeah, he's been awesome all year. So yeah, shout out to Flynn Cameron.
Breakout season, Bushy.
It is. And I know his dad would be so proud of him because he said, watch out for him. He told me this a while back, and I said, I will. If you're telling me to watch out for one of your boys, I know he's got to be pretty good. And he does. He walks like PC, man. I swear to God, he's got that little strut on him. And PC know what I'm talking about. He got that little strut on him, man. And he looks like he plays with that little chip on his shoulder, like, hey, I want to be one of the best out here.
That's the one. And off the back of episode 1, we've had heaps of advice on terms of what we can do, because we're not pros at this. We're just turning up. We're just talking basketball.
It's basketball, baby. That's the fun stuff. This is the fun stuff. I love it.
It looks pretty professional to me.
It looks pretty good. Shout out to producer
Kobe Kara.
Let's go to the Cobra.
Okay, Sam Meninga re-signs with New Zealand Breakers this year for 2 years, but also signed over in China, CBA, for the off-season as well.
Yeah, huge. I mean, Sam, he killed it this year in the NBA. I thought he was one of the best players on any team. And I know a lot of other teams would have been after him. So for the Breakers to secure him is huge. And it wouldn't have came cheap either, because I know he probably could have asked for what he wanted, even a little extra, the way he played this season. So good on Sam. 17
points per game, 7 rebounds, valuable asset, and show me the money for Sam Meninga. Good on him. The other one is Kareem Lopez, another New Zealand Breaker, declares for 2026 NBA draft. What are the chances?
Well, I tell you what, he'd go top 10. I reckon he goes top 10. He's already a professional player.
Big call.
It is.
I second that. He's nice. He's nice. A really good, insane size, speed, and skill combo. So yeah, I agree. Top 10 for sure.
Height, size. And he's already played a couple of years professional now. And the youth side, because these days they pay for potential. These NBA teams are paying millions of dollars for what people can do later down the years, not straight away. It ain't like it was in the old school. You had to prove yourself first and then get the big bucks. They're giving you the big bucks now. And his upside is tremendous. That's why I see, and like I said, he's got that professional pedigree under his belt now. That's huge.
Hey, we know if the Golden State Warriors turns up to one of your games to check you out, you know you're something special. So all the best to Kareem Lopez, NZ Breaker, declares for 2026 NBA draft. All right, Dan, topic 1, brought to us by Sterling Sports. Napier, Pursuit of Happiness, one of my favourite brands too, exclusive to Sterling Sports. So shout out to Sterling Sports Napier for sponsoring the podcast. This is all about you now, Dan.
Sweet.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where did you grow up? Where did you play junior basketball?
So I'm from Perth, Western Australia. I grew up playing for the Lakeside Lightning. They're one of the clubs out there, and I've only kind of played for them. I really love Lakeside. Such a family club. All my brothers played there. My sister played. I spent heaps of time there and got a lot of time for those people. So yeah, grew up there. I moved to the AIS in Canberra when I was 18 on scholarship there. So that was really cool. A lot of guys that I was there with, I play in the NBL with or against currently. So it's cool to see how we've all kind of grown up and become professionals. And that was a really cool environment. The AIS, I was there for a year and a half before heading to the Illawarra Hawks, and I've kind of been in Illawarra since 2018. So a long time, and yeah, loving my time in Illawarra, and hopefully I'm there for, the rest of my career. And in the off season, I come out here every now and then. So yeah, it's been a great, I've loved every second of my career so far and love where it's taken me. I've met so many awesome people and, seen so many cool places. So yeah, I'm very, very blessed with how my career's gone so far.
And with that, you say AIS, so for some of our viewers, what is the AIS?
So the AIS, it stands for the Australian Institute of Sport. It's this big complex in the capital, Canberra. Beautiful place. It gets a bad rap, Canberra. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but really cool place. So massive facility, and all the Olympic athletes for Australia kind of go there to train, and it's got all the facilities you can think of. It's a playground for sports people. So I was there, on scholarship for a year and a half under Adam Capehorn, the current Boomers coach, and I learned a lot there, and it's a really tough environment. You're really forced to get better. Almost, there's almost no option. Everyone who goes there comes out better than they were when they got there. So yeah, really cool place, and for you New Zealanders, a lot of the pretty much all of our Aussie NBA players went there at some point. So I was there with Josh Giddey, a bunch of other guys, Alex Dukas, a lot of guys that have played in the NBA. So it's a really cool place.
Awesome. So you obviously, I did pretty young. I mean, you debuted NBL 1 at 16. Is that correct?
Oh, around about there. Yeah, it used to be called the SBL back then. I was, pre-NBL 1. I feel old, mate. But it used to be called the SBL, and played a little bit for Lakeside before heading off to the AIS, and we played Siebel when we were at the AIS, which once again, it's not Siebel anymore, it's NBL 1.
And then debuted 18-19 season for Illawarra, played all 56 games the first 2 seasons you're there, and then injury.
Yes, injury hit. So I tore my ACL on my right knee in the off season. I was actually home just training with the Lakeside team, doing a scrimmage, just kind of stay in shape and everything. Yeah, blew my knee out pretty much just the first possession of the game. Which sucked. And at the time, the Hawks had actually folded. They had gone bankrupt. This is the year after we had LaMelo Ball, gone bankrupt. And so we were all out of jobs. So I wasn't covered by any health stuff. I had to pay for the surgery myself. It was just the worst timing to do it. Then COVID hit as well. So I was kind of stuck in Perth, had surgery, no access to gyms or physios and stuff. So it was a pretty tough start to my rehab of my first knee. Luckily, our current owners of the Hawks bought the team, and I got a call from Brian Goorjian. He wanted me back for 2 more years. So, Brian Goorjian calls, you pick up the phone, and I said yes straight away. Instantly, straight away, I was going to come back. And can't thank Goorjian and Jacob Jackomas and that coaching staff enough for bringing me back even through the injuries and stuff, and really believing in me.
Injury is part of being a pro, unfortunately, but I look at your career now, and those injuries, and you having to overcome that has actually become part of your, what you bring to a side. I look at Tommy Ferguson now, a similar position actually, a couple of ACL injuries, but still high character dude, just fighting through it, keen to come back and fight.
Yeah, for sure. The rehab, that first rehab especially, I was I wouldn't have said after my first 2 years in the league, as you said before, I played all 56 games, and my second year wasn't quite as good as my first, and I think I'd kind of gotten a little bit comfortable, not maybe subconsciously, but the rehab really I really started to work hard again, and it kind of put me back in the right mindset to being a pro. So I wouldn't change it for the world, and the injuries have really helped my career, I think. So
what you're saying, your injury actually helped you become a better player.
Absolutely. And you know what? I've done 2 other ones too. So all the injuries have really shaped how I go about playing the game, and how I see basketball and professional sport. It really put it in my mind that it could be done at any second. So I try and have as much fun and try to play as hard as I can every single time. And and if I go down again, then so be it. That's just how it's going to go. So, yeah.
Well, you've done it all, man. You've won NBL champion now in 2025. We'll get to that, but you've also worn a Boomers jersey in 2023 FIBA World Cup qualifiers. How was that experience for you?
It was awesome. I've done that's the third qualifying trip I've kind of been on. I've been on 3, all 2 games each time, and every time you get the opportunity to put on the green and gold, I'm going to do it. I played for the Boomers in Iran and in Kazakhstan, so I've been to some crazy places. And yeah, surreal feeling putting that jersey on for the first time, and every single time after that. It's awesome.
So the last 3 years of your career, let's look at that. You win a NBL championship with the Hawks in 25. You came to New Zealand, played for the Hawks here, had an outstanding season as well, 18 points or 24 points a game. And then you go back to Illawarra. Illawarra didn't have the year that the team would have wanted. But I thought you took your opportunities when they came as well. And we reminded Will Lopez last week about your 18 points.
Yeah, we did in 10 minutes.
How good.
So keep that in your back pocket for any tough training sessions this year.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I felt like I had a good year. It was a real healthy year for me, to be honest. I only missed a few games from concussion, nothing to do with my knee or anything. So yeah, that's a big tick in my book. And yeah, I felt super confident out there. It was a lot of fun playing with, JaVale McGee. It's crazy, just even meeting him, let alone sharing the floor with him a lot, was really cool. And he's a super high character guy and insanely talented. So yeah, I had a lot of fun, got a bit more burn than I had the last few years. And yeah, had a ball. So yeah, really stoked with that year, and hopefully I can continue that form onto this season and then back over to Illawarra.
Some pretty big personalities in that team. Obviously, Dave O'Hickey, JaVale McGee. I mean, you got the coach Justin Tatum in there as well. Tyler obviously wants the ball too.
Yeah.
Does it ever get testy at training? Does anyone go head to head and breaks out?
All the time. I think Bryce said it last night or the other night in that game when everyone's talking about all the chirp after the game and stuff. He said that's just another day being a professional basketballer, and it gets like that at training all the time. But I feel like there's a real balance between it going over the top, and it can get nasty sometimes, which you don't want. You got to remember you're all in the same team, but the competitiveness and the fieriness is great, especially early on in the season, to bring you together for a good year. So yeah, definitely gets testy here and there, but yeah, never too much.
Any decent bust-ups in your time, Cliffy? Surely you got a few stories.
Surely. Definitely have a couple. I won't name and shame some from Waikato, but I will say that my first training in uni for University of Central Arkansas, they had a guy who was 28 years old. He was from the military, big guy. He looked like a 6'9" version of Elvis Presley. He even talked like him a little bit too, or with a little crooked mouth and things. So we're fighting. I'm trying to prove to the coach, I want to hustle. He said no out of bounds, so we're going for the loose ball. He went with me. We're fighting each other, punching each other along the way. By the time it's like 1,000 people in the stands watching our training, and so by the time he got the ball, and that's because he knocked me out of the way to get it, and everybody started laughing. I wonder why they were laughing. He had ripped all my clothes off. I was standing there with my jock strap on and with socks and shoes, and that's it. And that's how they broke me in the uni, man. I was like, oh my God, here we go.
Hey, nothing like that happened.
All right, man. Illawarra Hawks as well. You played some ball with Lachlan Olbrich. Obviously, he had a stint in the NBL as well. Must be cool seeing what he's doing now over in Chicago with Chicago Bulls. Gone through G League, obviously, but has taken his opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah, I watched him this morning. He got a really good run this morning against Memphis. He played really well. Last time I checked, he had like 9 and 8 boards in limited minutes. So he's an insanely good impact player, and just super talented. And I'll say it, super weird, bro. Just the weirdest game, so unorthodox. We would always laugh. He would he'd do he'd post you up and do a backwards Euro step and just finish. He just knows where the hoop is. He's super aware and such a great kid too. One of the best guys ever. And he was super tough out here in New Zealand. Yeah, an absolute handful. So, yeah, so stoked to see how Lockie's going out there in America.
And Davo Hickey, Will Hickey, South Bay Lakers,
Yeah.
he's going to get an opportunity to show what he can do over there. How do you think he's going to go?
I think he's going to absolutely kill it. Davo's one of my favourite players ever. I love watching him play and I love playing with him. You know, he plays so hard and with so much passion. It's heaps of fun. So yeah, the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants to do. So I'm super stoked to see him out there at South Bay Lakers. We'll get to have a run around with Bronny James, which would be really cool. So yeah, stoked to see how he goes out there.
So have you got Australian passport or?
Yeah, Australian passport.
Yeah. So we got to change that.
Yeah, we're going to have to hurry
Well,
up.
How many years do we need him here?
Yeah,
We got to change.
I've already got 2 passports. I got an Italian one too. So I'm not sure how many you can have.
Nice.
You got an Italian passport, so you can play in Europe.
Yeah, my dad's from Sicily, so yeah,
Right.
an Italian
Nice.
passport.
There we go, little gem.
Yeah.
Have you got aspirations to play outside of Australasia? I mean, certainly the globe's getting smaller basketball wise. We're seeing a lot of guys leave the shores to go and find other things. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in Hawks Tracker. But have you got aspirations to play elsewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of every off season we have a little look what's there over in Europe and stuff, because obviously, like I said, I got the passport. But especially just kind of with my knee history and stuff, me and my agent just really want to make sure it's the perfect fit if I'm going to go over there. So yeah, haven't pulled the trigger yet, but hopefully I will at some point. Even just to go live out there, that would be half the fun, you know, seeing Italy or Europe or wherever. Yeah, exactly. I love moving around and playing in these different places. So yeah, definitely a goal at some point, but whether it happens or not, we'll see.
Would Italy be your first choice?
Definitely. I've been there once. When I was at the AIS, we went to an NBA camp. It's now called the Adidas Euro Camp. It's in Treviso, so kind of near Venice. But back then it was just labelled an NBA camp. So we went out there with the whole AIS team and the NBA Academy guys and played a bunch of games and played against a lot of guys that are in the NBA now over there, and we got to see a bit of Venice too while we were there. So yeah, it was awesome. But I haven't been back. That was in like 2018. So hopefully we can get back out to Europe at some point, play some hoops.
Nice, man. As much as we want you here, we're definitely rooting for you.
Yeah.
You know, last question from me. How old are you, Dan?
27.
So you're 27. At 27, are you still turning up, trying to develop your game and develop what you bring, or are you at a point where you go, this is my bag and it's how I use that, you know, to contribute to a team?
That's a great question. Kind of a bit of both. I feel like this year, especially in the Aussie NBL, I really kind of found who I was, like my identity in a team, which is just, you know, really bringing energy off the bench and kind of bringing a defensive and offensive spark. But I'm always trying to expand my game and learn different things that can especially elongate my career, you know, become a better shooter. Obviously, I rely on my athleticism a lot and my speed and stuff. So I think if I can transition into more of a spot-up shooter and kind of like a bit of a smarter player, I think that'll help, you know, get me a few extra years at the end of my career. So that's kind of what I'm looking at doing now. But at the same time, I'm definitely going to play how I like playing, which is fast and, you know, hard and everything like that. So, a bit of both for sure.
Well, man, I think we're stoked that you're here. You know, everywhere you go, you get some sort of cult following. I don't know if it's the mullet or it's the way you play, but, you know, you've certainly got that in Illawarra.
Yeah.
You've certainly created that in New Zealand through your time at the Giants as well as your time at the Hawks. There's not many Aussies that get that sort of affable love from the Kiwis. Same special game, man.
Yeah, well, that's why, once again, I love coming out to New Zealand. I've spent 2 years at the Giants, and then this is my second year here, and have absolutely loved it. I feel the manner, as you guys say, and
love it.
It's really cool. So, and all the boys, like the crowds, like everywhere I've been out here in New Zealand have been awesome. So, yeah, love my time.
Okay, mate, next segment. We do this with all our guests. It's brought to us by Coasteez Golf Lounge. Bushy, you know what it is. We take you down to Coasteez Golf Lounge. And it's 3 drives. It's 3 drives. We take your best drive.
That's the
really decapitated.
I didn't look too happy with the ball there, right?
Trying to get another concussion there.
So
watch out.
That's a bit better.
Oh, there we go. Better. We're away there.
Please don't show Justin Tatum this, mate. He loves golf. He taught me how to swing, so he wouldn't be happy with
80.5, that second drive. And the third one, we're going to catch the rebound.
Bonus points, man.
One rebound per game. There it is.
That's right.
Nice one, man. So you go on the leaderboard. We had Will Lopez last week. And,
Oh, Lord.
and look at that. Producer Kobe, we need to get this down because it needs to be Will Lopez, Daylight, and then Dan Grida.
Oh, but nah, he's got to give me another shot at that. He'll have to give me another shot later on.
80.5, you are on the board. Thanks to Coasteez Golf Lounge for supporting the podcast and giving us that time. Stick around, Dan. Stick around. We'll feed you into the rest of the podcast. I'm sure you can contribute to what we're doing. Let's go to signing news from around the league, brought to us by Streetwise Coffee Napier, the official coffee supplier for the Big Barrel Hawks. And we won't do all of the news this week, but two that I've sort of picked out, Bushy, is Tohi Smith-Milner going to the Nelson Giants, your old stomping grounds, Dan. I reckon Coach Fitchett would have been sleeping well that night. He got the paperwork done for that one.
Oh, yeah, Tohi. I mean, he probably fits really well in that system in Nelson, I think. Especially since he's a stretch four. He can shoot threes. I think that might be a great fit for him. Better than maybe his last couple teams that he was with as far as offense goes. I know he would probably be saying that he didn't have the best offensive year that he normally has last year. So I think this might be a great change for him to get into that Nelson system.
Yeah, that's right. 12 points per game last year with the Rams. Still took 7 total rebounds, though, so still contributing. But I agree. I think just offensively, probably not the season he would have wanted. But he's a great get. Over 60 Tall Blacks appearances, so he comes with plenty of pedigree and knows how to do it.
Oh, without a doubt.
The other one that was interesting to me, just noting, was Darnay Samuel. So been out of the league for the last year and a bit, but he's been picked up by Taranaki Airs. What's he going to bring?
Oh, that's huge. I love Darnay's game. Love his game. He's one of those dudes that look like he probably shouldn't be playing basketball. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't the typical built kind of basketballer, but man, does he have game. Like, he's got some irky jerk kind of moves going on. He can take you off the dribble, can shoot, and he's a killer. Like, he will tell you about how he's going to kill you. I like a guy like that, of course, coming from myself, you too little. You know what I mean? But, he is a destroyer on the court, and I love to see that. And if he stays focused and he plays, they always said about his defense, hey, his defense is just fine because his offense is going to shine.
Yeah, he's one of those players you hate to love and love to hate. Like you love watching him. You don't want him on a team that you're playing against because he's just such a pest. But his last season, 12 points per game, 3.9 rebounds. That was with the Wellington Saints in 2023. So welcome Darnay Samuels back to the NBL. Signings closer to home. Ezra Eagle, young fella, local to the Bay, went away for a few years and has come back really off the back of Hawks Labs that General Manager Jared Kenny's put together, looking after our young talent in the Bay. Signed to Whitmore College over in the States, so I assume he goes later on in the year. Yep. But what's he going to bring to the Hawks?
Oh, Big E. That's what I call him, Big E. Big E is a constant professional. I'm going to tell you now, he might be a young fella, but he's a constant professional. He thinks the game. He trains hard. He plays hard. He knows he's not got Michael Jordan athleticism, but he uses all of his strengths very well. He's a strong player, smart. He's a stretch four. He can shoot the three. He can knock it down. And every time I've seen him in the preseason, both games so far, he's played great. I thought he's played outstanding, actually, especially against the Jets last week. And he's hungry. He wants this. He wants to develop his game and be one of the top players and make Tall Blacks and do all that stuff. So he has serious goals about it. And he's a no-nonsense guy. You know what I mean? And you love those kind of guys on your team, especially when they're young like he is.
He's always going to battle for size, Greg, but he's got the IQ to sort of work around that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's a super smart player. He tells everyone where they need to be, when they need to be there. So he really knows what he's doing, really pays attention there. And I think he's a really good connector, especially for the young boys who probably play a lot of rapid league and really help there. But I'm sure he's really going to help us out in the main game as well. So yeah, pumped for Ezra. Experience
beyond his years. And the other big announcement this week is the re-signing of Jackson Ball coming back to the Hawke's Bay Hawks. Played development player for Illawarra last year, so you would have spent plenty of time with him.
Yeah.
Breakout season in the NBL last year, dropped 40 in the first game. I think it was it Manawatu Jets that first game?
Could be.
Was it the Panthers?
Yeah, that's the other team who didn't play defense. So,
But dropping 40 when you're I'm not even sure he was 17 at that time. He might have been 16 when he dropped 40. And then the reason I remember the Manawatu game because he was going toe to toe with Corey Webster and Dante Russo-Nant. So seeing that was incredible.
Yeah,
you would have seen him this year.
He was awesome in Illawarra. You know, the day he got in, everyone was kind of like, "Oh, like who's this?" I'm telling everyone, I'm like, "Man, this is Jackson Ball. Like he's the prodigy. Like he's going to be really good." And they're like, "Okay." And then first practice, he's just killing everyone. He's a grown man and plays like one at 18 years old. So yeah, stoked for Jackson. I had a great time with him out there in Illawarra. Everyone loved him. The boys loved him. So yeah, we're really stoked. And I've already messaged our GM, Matty Campbell, about his brother, Case. He's next. So we're trying to keep that pipeline going. We'll get all these young boys out to Illawarra and see how we go from there.
Well, New Zealand Basketball Youth Player of the Year last year and league's most improved player as well. Got 10 games for Illawarra this year. Started a couple as well. So it just shows that Justin Tatum had plenty of faith in what Jackson could bring to that side. Went to FIBA World Cup, Under-19 World Cup last year with New Zealand side Bushy and placed fourth. So he scored 10 points a game. So comes with big raps, big news for the Hawks.
Baller.
Yeah.
That's Jay Ball right there, Jay Baller, because he is a baller. Like he is the epitome of what you would consider someone to be a baller. He trains hard, plays hard. He got that little swag about him, you know what I mean? And he ain't afraid of anyone. I was talking to him when he asking him about the NBA Without Borders camp, and I said, tell me a story about it. He was like, it was this guy that was, looking like he was just doing all these moves, and he was so good. And I said, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna guard him. I'm going after him. And he was one of the coaches. He one of the NBA dudes, and I'm like, now that's the type of guy you want. That's a baller right there. You know what I mean?
Committed to Wisconsin Badgers this year, but also went to Basketball Without Borders All-Star Camp, All-Star Weekend during the NBA All-Star and All-Star Honours as well in that camp. So plenty of eyes on Jackson Ball this year. And I feel like saying that if you're around the country and Jackson's playing, get down to that game because you might not see him in New Zealand for a long, long time post the season.
I guarantee he won't be around for long. The upside of him, especially when he gets this opportunity for the Wisconsin Badgers. And if he plays like I think he's going to play, we'll be lucky to see him again unless he puts on that tall black singlet and comes back.
That's correct. All right, next segment is the Hawks Tracker. So this is something that we're going to do a couple of times this season where we keep an eye on players that have played for the Hawks in the past and coaches as well. This is brought to us by our friends at Total Energies, naming rights sponsor for our Rapid League side, but also platinum partner of the Hawks. So thanks very much, Total Energies. Let's start within the NBL. Ethan Rusbach, another sort of cult hero down here for the Hawks. He moves from the Franklin Bulls. He's part of the exodus from the Franklin Bulls going to the Otago Nuggets.
The doctor. That's what I call him because he just operates on the court all the time. So when he played here, that's my nickname for him. Doc is one of my favorite players in the league by far because he has that little swag too. He's probably the Dennis Rodman of the NBL without the rebounding side. More, where all the tattoos and everything like that.
That's a crazy cool.
It's not that cool.
He's a little different cat. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in a good way. And that's why I say that. It's huge for him. Happy to see that he's moving on and still out there because, man, he's a 3-point bucket. You know what I mean? Like when he gets going and he's on, he can shoot with the best of them. You know what I mean? And that's huge for him. And I always like to see any ex-players or people that I know, especially guys that I got to know very well, moving on in their career and doing well.
12 points per game last year for the Franklin Bulls. Played a lot of minutes, 32 minutes a game, but he's a true pro, Dan. He looks after his body, always turns up ready to go at the start of the season. You would have played a little bit with him.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's as Cliffy said, he's a lights out shooter, and he just knows what he's doing. He's been around for ages and knows his spots and everything like that. So he's always a tough cover, and look for him to be really good in Otago.
The other guy that had a stint with the Hawks is Jordan Hunt, and he's going from Franklin Bulls to the Wellington Saints. So big move for him to go to such a big club. Tough year. I think he goes to the UK in 2023, breaks his leg, so sits out his NBL season. Came back last year with the Franklin Bulls. Didn't get a lot of minutes, to be fair, but at the moment Saints haven't named Nick Mazinski back or a player of that type, so potentially he gets a chance at some big minutes for the Saints.
I think this is a proven year for him, and my nickname, of course, for him is Mr. Fundamentals. He is great at all the fundamental stuff, and he's another stretch four guy. Good character guy, comes from a great family, and yeah, I think this will be the season. I think last year, when you're coming back from an injury like that, and the year back is probably not going to be your best one. But I think now he's had those games under his belt. He's getting the preseason. I think he comes out and plays like the tall black guy again this season. So he's going to be tough. I think he's going to be tough, and he's going to do well this year.
Yeah, I wish him all the best. I think any guy that gets injured like that comes back, you're always hoping that they can get back on and ball out. So huge potential for him at Wellington. Great get for them, I think. Now let's look at around the world, and these are some guys that you definitely would have spent some time with. Hiram Harris captaining the Kanazawa Samurais in the Japanese B League, 28 minutes a game, just under 11 points per game, 9 rebounds, so playing his trade over in the B League.
Yeah, so cool. I absolutely love Hiram. I played a year with him in Illawarra. He was a development player for us. Back in 2019, 20, I think. So, yeah, and we became really close. And, yeah, Hiram's a guy that I got a lot of time for. And, yeah, stoked to see him out there doing his thing in Japan.
He's another guy that sort of has a cult following down here.
Yeah.
He's kind of our player. Like, he's tough. He goes 100. Similar to GRIIID's not glazing, but, you go 100%. If you're down by 20, you're up by 20. He goes 100. Yeah. He wants to compete for every ball like it's the end of the world. So he's a guy that was really loved when he was down here, and just knew, it's hands in the dirt sort of a player. That's who we love.
Yeah, that's Hiram. That's Triple H. It's time to play the game. You know what I mean? That's him right there, baby. He's ready. He's always ready. He does everything well, so you can't just concentrate on certain things with him. That's why he just stuffs the stat sheet all over the place. He'll have 10 of everything: rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. You don't know what's going to happen in those games because he's going to just go all across the board, man.
Yeah, Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the utility man right there, and you got it. And that's him trying to play the game, Triple H.
Jordan Naoto is the other one. Koshigawa Alphas in the Japanese B1 League, doing a little stint there. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And one of the things that we are seeing from a lot of Kiwis is going over to Asia. So Paulie Hinade obviously has been coaching there. Local guy, coached here, played here. Nagasaki Valko as assistant coach as well, but did 3 years head coach at Kagawa Samurai. So there's this exodus of players going over to Asia. Obviously, Judd Flavel recently made a big call, I reckon, leaving the NZ Breakers. You would have thought he's in line to take that job potentially, but what is it? Is it just the money or is it the opportunity?
I would say it's a bit of both. I think it might be money-wise. I mean, Japan, they're offering big bank, man. I just saw online that one of the Japanese players who play for Chicago Bulls, actually, he could be making $5 million a year, or $2.5 million a year, in Japan, and he's making $385,000 in the NBA. So you got to look at that. That's right. Wow. People chasing those money. I know the coaches over there making 6 figures. Now, come on. That's a no-brainer. You're going to get some players over there, and especially if they got those Kiwi connections going on. And good on them because that's just developing their career and also helping their families out at the same time, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Juddy doesn't know anything. I feel he can go and do it. He's given everything he can to New Zealand basketball. He's still going to coach the Tall Blacks, but pretty interesting that he's going to go over there. Sam Menenga's the other one. Xinjiang, I probably murdered that. Flying Tigers in the CBA, so Chinese Basketball League. He's going over there as well, and I doubt it's for.
It ain't for the scenery, I can tell you that right now. Exactly. It's definitely for the show me the money.
I was trying to find a way to say it.
Show me the money. And I don't blame them. Hey, I don't blame them. Hey, go for gold. That's what's best for them. This is a business at the end of the day. And if they're going to offer you bukus of money, you're gonna have to take that.
Yeah, it does raise a question though, Dan, for the sales NVL. You know, in terms of the salary cap here and the model that we're currently using, it's predominantly to make sure that the league is sustainable as it grows. But unless we move that threshold, I feel like we're going to start losing good players to leagues that might not be as good, but are going to pay better money.
For sure, and it's like what Cliffy said. It's like, you know, if you can get a massive bag and look after your family for a long time and set yourself up, like, you have to do it. And it's playing basketball, you know. It's really cool that we can get paid to play basketball. It's still kind of surreal that that's a thing when you think about it. So yeah, more power to those guys that can go over there and really get paid.
Yeah, 100%. No one's going to hold us back. Show me the brown paper bag. I'm out of here. Okay, the next segment is the season schedule. So this full schedule is currently out now. This is brought to us by Kings Union Barber, the official barber of the Big Barrel Hawks. And boys, I'm a rage. I got beef. I got beef with the league.
You got beef. Oh, look out now.
First three games with the boys have got 3 games in 7 days. The first one at home on the 11th of April against the Phi. The next one is the 14th against Taranaki. That's away. So the away game is the middle game in those 7 days, potentially a day of travel on either side. I don't know who's putting these schedules together, but we need to relook at that because as a player, one, it's duty of care to players, obviously, but you know, I just think it's poor.
Well, I would just wonder if any of the other teams got something similar, then it would be okay. If everybody was on an even keel with that, I think it'd be fine. The boys, on the other hand, I don't think they're going to give a crap, to be honest, because it's less practice time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's less practice time, so I don't think they really got to mind much playing more game and less practice. But like I said, on the body wise, yeah, that's going to be a bit tough on them. But hey, professionals, you know.
Exactly.
You agree with that, Dan?
Yeah, well, I agree with you, of course, but at the same time, you know, it's good. You wait all season, like you wait all off season or whatever, or however long. Like I'm here, I haven't played for like 5 or 6 weeks now. I'm really keen to play. So, you know, 2 games in the first weekend, like I'm okay with that, you know?
All right, 2-on-1. Take it back, Lee. Don't cancel us. Don't cancel us.
I agree with you, Justin, but our team can't wait to get out there. So 2 games is all good. And we'll just make sure we look after our bodies really well.
Let's look at that first game, Tauranga Phi. A few more announcements in the last couple of weeks. They've obviously picked up Nicholas Tata as their big Ruben Tarangi. You would have played quite a bit against Ruben Tarangi. Tane Murray, Nick Stoddard, one of their imports as well. Yep. Pretty good get, I reckon. And they've just signed Dion Collins, who had a fantastic season at the Manawatu Jets last year. And balance-wise, they're starting to look really good. Jaden Bazant is the other one. That's still in the mix. He's played plenty of good basketball the last couple of years. So balance-wise, they're starting to get a really nice balance for the Phi. Yeah,
I love Jay Busy's game, man. Jay Bazant, he just a baller, dude. He don't care. He don't care who's out there. You know, I've had a chance to meet him and talk to him a few times. Love that kid, man.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's just a straight baller. He's not afraid of anything, any moment, any time. You know, you love kids like that on your team. But as far as, we'll see how they all come together. Because the Phi was supposed to be good, that much better last year too.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out that way.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
They got a late pickup in the season with Mojave King at the transfer window, I think, last year, and that sort of helped them. Mojave did play some good games in the back half, but it was almost too late for them at that point to sort of hang around to force the top 8.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, and like I said, anybody can be good on paper. Like every team can have, you can have 9 former NBA players. That don't mean you're going to win nothing in the league. You know, from my experience, I remember when I was with Waikato, we were picked to be like 8th. Well, we only lost 1 game all year, and we won a championship. So that means nothing.
Wow. I think also Nick Stoddard, he's a sleeper. He's really good. We haven't seen heaps of him in the NBL. He's been a development player with the Jack Jumpers in Tasmania, but he can really hoop. And I'm sure he's going to be pumped to show what he can do out here as an import. So yeah, I'd watch out for Stoddy.
Yeah, I think head coach Will Lopez last week on the pod talked about just trying to get guys that are hungry, and Nick will be in the same boat. Definitely want to come over here, get as many minutes as he can, and just go hard, prove what he can do, get some tape. get some tape going. So first 5 games, it's the Fires, Jets and Rams. There's no easy game.
No.
The way it's shaping up, there's just no easy game. So although at the start of the season, Bushy, it is a time where you can sort of steal a game here or there that perhaps later on in the year you don't get, while the teams are finding their feet. Yeah. Who's the banana slip in that first 5 games?
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be, we're going to have a little trouble with the Rams, I reckon, out of that bunch. Rams are always going to be tough.
Always strong, yeah.
And that's the thing. I really think we'll beat all the rest. But I think we can win all of them. But I think that Rams game is going to be probably one of the tougher ones out of that group anyway.
Great, one of your best games last year was against the Rams. We didn't get it done, but if I think back to that game, career high 15 rebounds, 26 points in that game, and we didn't get it done. But surely memorable for you to play the Rams.
Yeah, I'm yet to win a game in the Rams stadium. Or maybe I have. I don't think I've ever been.
They'll be in a new stadium this year, I think. So
it is in a new stadium.
They won't be playing in Cows.
Not in Cows.
Nah.
Yeah, it's a new
So I'm
stadium.
never going to get to win there. I don't think I've actually beat the Rams ever in 3 years playing out here. So that one's circled for me. And the Rams are always good. So definitely a big game for us to look forward to.
Okay, fam, so get your tickets. It's flickits.hawks.co.nz. Tickets to all your games. We're going to do a giveaway, though, on the pod. First giveaway on the pod. I haven't cleared this with General Manager Jared Kenny either, but we're going to do it anyway.
Don't tell anybody.
Everyone that subscribes to the YouTube channel between now, or actually we'll take it from the first pod right up until the first game, 11th of April, goes in the draw, and we'll give away family passes to the first 3 games.
Sweet.
We're going to do that. So make sure you subscribe and we'll get you going. All right, our last segment is Moment of the Week. Again, brought to you by Streetwise Coffee. Bushy, what's your Moment of the Week?
Oh, I got a chance to go down, even though I was a little late getting there, to the Hawks launch on Saturday. Fantastic. I walked in there. The moment of the week for me is not really a basketball thing. I do have one basketball thing about that with the inter-squad game that they had, but I walked in there, and I just come from some coaching with some younger kids, and I got on like a plain black shirt, shorts, Nike shorts. I walk in, I look, everyone in the gym had some Hawks gear on, man. I mean, the smallest kid, 4 years old, had a uniform on. And I was just like, oh, man, where's mine? I have to bring mine, you know what I mean? And I got plenty, but that was just hilarious to me. Everyone in that gym had something on, man. Pretty cool to look, and that was a moment for me. During the game, the play was great. It was pretty competitive between both teams. One team got up, I think the white team got up pretty about 14, 15 points, and then the black team came back and beat them by 1. It was good to see a lot of players playing well, Kobe Kara, the Cobra, and, Big E, Isra. I thought CB3 played well in that game. Did get a nice dunk too, which was a good moment. A good moment, and some of the crowd and younger people were sitting next to me, and they love that kind of stuff. So that was good to see. So that's moments for me.
I think a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing what that tier of player can do. There's obviously Kobe, Jacob Murphy, Tommy Fergs, Cliffy Bush III as well, and in terms of what they can do this season, all coming off, some of those guys coming off injuries, fit this year. Yeah. So a little bit different vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see. I'm talking to JK throughout the last few weeks, and the boys just look like they've really stepped it up a notch. They're looking awesome at practice, and I'm keen for a really massive year with all the guys. So team's looking good, and really really pumped to get going.
My moment of the week, boys, was 36 versus Kings. Bryce Cotton, game 2, gets it done on the buzzer. But the interesting thing was what happened after that for me. Kendrick gets in his face. They go to the presser, and Bryce got hit up about that. The media tried to make that into some sort of beef, and Bryce just said, hey, I play ball, and the playgrounds over in LA, that happens every day. People are trying to win. This is finals of basketball, and I was all about that. You know, like you want to see guys go at it.
Oh yeah.
For it to mean something, you know, if they're going to play at that level, you want them to really want to win and it to mean something for that side that they're playing for.
Yeah, definitely. Like these two have had a lot of like mutual respect for each other over the year. You know, kind of being number 1 and 2 in the league. So it's really cool to see them, you know, get fired up, and it's not all buddy sometimes. Like they're really trying to win, and it means a lot to both of them. So that's what the fans want to see. That's what, you know, other players want to see, and I think it's great for the league, and it's turning into a really cool series. So yeah, super pumped to see how these next games unfold.
Okay, that's it, boys. Episode 2 done and dusted in the books. First giveaway, first Hawks tracker underway, and Dan, you're on the board on the long drive leaderboard.
Unfortunately, no, you just have to give me another crack at that later on. I'll go get in the lab. I'll go get down there and start hitting some balls.
We might take payment. You
might put a 1 in front of that 8 instead. You know,
you take bribes. Good. I'm ready.
All right, boys. Thanks.
Amazing. Thanks.